Well, hello everyone, I'm Darth Browner, and welcome to the next part of my Ace Attorney playthrough. Now, in the previous video, we concluded Turnabout Goodbyes, where it turned out that it was actually Manfred von Karma who was the real killer of Miles Edgeworth's father, who died in the infamous DL6 incident. And it turned out Yanni Yogi was actually the caretaker guy who I did a very northern impression like up and that guy, if you remember the last video. And it turned out he was the one that killed Robert Hammond, the person that Miles Edgeworth was accused of killing. So all in all, plenty of plot twists. Oh, and Maya has gone back to do some spirit training, so this is going to be a case with no Maya Fey. But it's a good case and an important one. Here's part one of it. Rise from the ashes. Let's go, go, go. It's been 2 months since Maya left the office. 2 months without a single trial. I had offers, but none I took. That is, until the date that girl showed up. Why do I come here to the office every day? It's not like I want to work. There you are, finally! Where have you been? My sister's trial is tomorrow. Who are you? It doesn't matter who I am. It only matters who you are. The famous defense attorney, Mia Fey. Oh, you're not Mia Fey, are you? I'm sorry, but Miss Mia Fey no longer works here. So you are the coffee boy? I'm Phoenix Wright, a defense attorney. Right. You're the Phoenix Wright? The Phoenix Wright from the Edgeworth murder case? Yeah, that's correct. It wasn't Edgeworth who was murdered, though. That's a relief, then. You're better than nobody. I'm sorry, I'm afraid I'm not taking cases right now. But you are Phoenix Wright, right? The undefeated defense attorney? Look, I'm not accepting any new cases. I'm sorry, but you'll have to try elsewhere. Please! I'm out of time. But, please, you have to help. It's my sister. Maya, could it be? Okay, I'll hear you out. Really? Thank you so much. My name's Emma. Emma Sky. I'm a scientific investigator. Scientific investigator? Emma, was it? So you're a scientific investigator? Yeah, that's right. Is something wrong? No, it's just you seem jumpy. Or just young. Young? I'll be 16 years old this year. Oh, I see. Wait, only 16? I'm set to be formally assigned to forensics in 3 more years. My work is becoming quite well known, at my age, no less. So what exactly is your current position then? Well, legally speaking, I guess you'd call me an 11th grader. But I'm ready to do my job, at my age, no less. Great, another future professional in training. So what's this about a case? You said the trial's tomorrow? My sister didn't do it. She wouldn't stab someone with a knife. She wouldn't. So it's a murder case. I don't care if there's a witness who saw her do it. She didn't do it. I know she didn't do it. It's a scientific fact. And there's a witness. Just talk to her. You'll have to talk to her. Right, I suppose I will. I promised her I'd bring Mia Fey, but that's interesting. How does she know Mia? So you want to be a scientific investigator when you grow up then? Excuse me? I'm not a child, I'll have you know. Still, it's good to have a goal, albeit a very unusual one. I believe investigation should be done scientifically. Don't you? Yeah. Sure can't fault her for lack of enthusiasm. If this case is handled scientifically, I'm sure my sister's name will be cleared. Your sister? I've been doing research, you know. I'm developing a new scientific method of case investigation. I'll show you when I'm done. I'm looking forward to it. Guess I should get down to the detention centre and talk to her sister. My sister asked for Mia specifically. This Mia Fey person was a few years below her in school, so they went to the same school, huh? She always told me to go to Mia if I ever needed a defence attorney. And, well, I need one. Incidentally, Mia is a woman. Now that you mention it, I guess it is more of a woman's name than a man's. Well, it's nice of you to help your sister out like this. You must be close. Well, actually, when she gets like she is now, I kind of hate her. But she's my only family. Your only family? What about your parents? They died in a car accident when I was little. Oh, I'm sorry. Alrighty then, to the detention centre. I wonder what's wrong with Emma. She got quiet all of a sudden as soon as we arrived. Guard, I thought I told you I didn't want visitors. Sorry, ma'am, I was just your sister. No excuses. Or did you not want a raise this year, I understood, ma'am. What was all that about? What a lovely view. Hi, Lana. Funny. I seem to remember specifically telling you not to come here. Perhaps my memory is failing? Look, I didn't want to come here either, okay? But your trial's tomorrow, you still don't have a defence attorney. I'll be the one in court tomorrow. This has nothing to do with you, Emma. Isn't that right, Mr. Wright? Hey, how do you know me? Mia mentioned you. I heard quite a bit. I'm sorry, what exactly is it that you do? My name is Lana. Lana Skye. I'm Chief Prosecutor for this district. You're a prosecutor? The two sisters, one a lawyer. Could this be a coincidence? Emma, Lana, I mean they're just like... Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? There's something you should know from the start, which is, the suspect in this case has confessed to the crime. Wait, but the suspect is... Me. I did it. Well, Mr. Wright? Well, why don't you begin by telling me exactly what happened? The crime took place yesterday, February 21st, at 5:15 PM. That's quite specific. I was in the witness deposition. A witness clearly saw me committing the crime. That was a bit about that, wasn't it? The crime took place in the underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. The body was found in the trunk of my subordinate's car. The prosecutor's office, huh? In your subordinate's car? Trunk? Classy. I was arrested on the spot, caught red-handed, as it were. Well, that's just great. So who was the victim? An investigator with the police department. I suppose the correct term is detective. A detective. Death was due to a loss of blood. He was stabbed once in the stomach. By you? Death wasn't immediate, but the wound was fatal. I see. Allow me to repeat myself, Mr. Wright. The victim was a detective. You know what that means, don't you? Uh-oh. What, Mr. Wright? What does it mean? Well, it means the police department will consider it a matter of pride to have me found guilty. They will use any means at their disposal to do so. This case gets worse and worse with everything I learn. So you're the chief prosecutor? That is correct. I'm responsible for overseeing every trial handled by prosecutors in this district. I make sure the prosecutors have what they need to do the job and manage every aspect. Those are my responsibilities, in a nutshell. That's an awfully large nutshell. Still, I'm a little surprised. I would think you'd recognise the district's chief prosecutor, Mr. Wright. Huh? In fact, it seems impossible you wouldn't. Lana? What happened to your hand? Oh, this? I cut myself by accident. When I stabbed him, that is. Huh? I'm not very good at being a criminal, I suppose. How am I supposed to defend this? Time to change the subject. Wait, she was in the class with Mia, wasn't she? You're in school with Mia, correct? A few years above her? Emma told you that too, did she? Well, why not? I did drag him all the way here from his office. Although it seems he has very little in common with Mia. Hey, I was in law school, I was in my third year, and she was auditing the class. She was different than the other students. Different? She was strong. She'd do anything to become a defence attorney. Anything. That was probably why she was attracted to me. Excuse me? Intellectually attracted. Lana was top of her class in school. I was the best there was. Oh. I'm doing pretty good in school too, by the way. Sounds a bit different when Emma says it. Well, Mr. Wright, excuse me, as you can plainly see, I'm admitting my guilt. I think it's safe to say there's no way you can take this case. None. But Lana, why? Why are you doing this to me? You never think of anyone but yourself. I know you didn't do it, Lana, I know. So, how can you say you did? If I lose you, I'll be all alone. I hate you, Lana. Mr. Wright? Yes. I believe our discussion here is ended. The rest, I'll leave it to you. You mean you're requesting my services, your defence? Don't lose any sleep over it. Your client has confessed after all. The case is over. Right, I'll do what I can to get to the bottom of this. Lana has confessed to the crime, yes, but something doesn't fit. It's that look in Emma's eyes. There's something else going on here, and I'm going to find out what. I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. Huh? About what? My sister, she's not always like that, you know. I just never expected to be defending another prosecutor again. She changed a lot. She used to be so gentle, always smiling. I really liked her. I see. Sorry, but I'm having trouble imagining that. What happened to her? I don't know for certain myself. I think maybe well, maybe not. Sounds like there's something there that defies a simple scientific explanation. Let's go check out this underground parking at the prosecutor's office, shall we? Okay. So this is a lot where it all happened. Looks like they're still investigating. Funny that my first visit to the prosecutor's office should be like this. Hey everyone, keep up the good work. Hey, what are you thinking? Well, they're going to be my co-workers 3 years from now, after all. No harm in saying hello. Actually, there is. You know, attorneys aren't supposed to examine crime scenes. I'm trying to not stand out too much here, you see. Hey there! Expected to go unnoticed here, partner? Partner? What we have here? Looks like Bambina got loose from the ranches up to no good. Folks gotta learn to keep them doggies tied down, partner. Mr. Marshall. Marshall looks more like a sheriff to me. Looky here, Bambino, I know how you feel. But this is my gang's gold strike, see? Strike? This is our claim, our territory, with a mother load of evidence. If you're fixing to mess with us hours, you'll regret it, partner. You know what dreams the cat tie out in the desert dream? You want to? What's this guy talking about? You head along home now. Happy trails, Bambino. Is that a hombre, a friend of yours? Kind of, sort of. Yeah, he's a detective. Who thinks he's a sheriff from the Wild West, it seems. Let's do some investigating. Ooh, what's this? A wallet? Excuse me, officer? Wait, what are you doing, Mr. Wright? What am I doing? I just found this wallet, so I'm handing it over to the police. I didn't believe it. This is real basic. Anything at a crime scene is evidence. Let's be scientific about this, please. Just put it in your pocket. How's that scientific? Sounds like theft to me. I'm called to duty already and at my tender age. Here, I'll teach you the trick to examining evidence in detail, okay? By the way, her eyes are sparkling. I can tell she's been waiting for this. Okay, now look at the court record. You have to be sure to examine evidence. Oh. Sergeant Bruce Goodman. So this was what was in the wallet. An ID card. See? Well, isn't scientific investigation useful? I guess, though I don't see what science has to do with it. Let's be sure to examine every piece of evidence we find. I guess I've got to be on my toes from now on. Well, no time to waste. Let's get hunting for clues. Wonder what this is. Wow, partner. Looks like you got no intention of going home quietly. The sheriff? Like I said before, this here's our claim. You'd best be moseying along now. Unless you're fixing to bat the bullet. That's scary. Can you just tell us one thing? Who owns that car? Well, the little filly's got a good nose on her. You want to know who rides that red Mustang with the Roddy in her saddle, eh? Please. No problem, partner. About time for vittles anyway. Get yourself to the saloon up on the 12th floor of the prospector's office. Might just find you a cerveza, you like. Prospector's office? Where does the guy think he is? And when, for that matter? Note to self. Look at Vittles, Saloon, Cerveza. Maybe we should check out room 1202, the High Prosecutor's office. In any case, stay away from the car. You can look around here all you like. Just keep your paws off our claim. Right, great. Great, maybe there are some clues around here, Mr. Wright. Let's check it out. Excuse me. Are you two all set? What's this? She couldn't be. You're selling lunches? Here? It's a crime scene. Hello! Half and half, was it? Oh, thanks. And you, sir? Yes. Some crunchy goodness coming at you. Thanks. Interesting way of doing business. This area is off limits to anyone without clearance, especially passers-by or you officers. No, but you don't exactly look like the type to have clearance. Well, that's hardly a way to greet someone. even if my days as the Coffin Queen are over. Coffin? Huh? You know, I'm feeling kind of full. Maybe I'll pass on lunch. I'm quite connected to this case, you see. The images are burned into my eyes, you might say. Yes, all the sordid secrets. Secrets? Dear me, you're a slow one, aren't you? I'm referring to the murder, the stabbing of the detective. What? A witness clearly saw me committing the crime. You mean you're the witness my sister was talking about? Please, Coffin Queen, tell us what happened. The name is Angel Star. Don't you go forgetting it. Or before you know it, I'll have you whimpering at my heels. Yes, ma'am. Yup, she means it. Somehow I knew. Yesterday was a day of destiny. I knew something was going to happen. Just like I know the daily special on Friday every week is salmon. Destiny was yesterday's special for some reason. You're a defense attorney, right? You should know then. You should know the foul misdeeds of the evil ones who haunt this den of iniquity. Evil ones? Prosecutors. They have no qualms at all about blackening the name of innocence. And yesterday they paid homage to the most evil one of all. They gave an award for King of Prosecutors. What a farce. So she's saying there was some sort of prosecutors' convention yesterday. I was always compelled to lace their lunches with something foul. Do you have a personal grievance against prosecutors or something? Or is there some kind of scientific evidence of this evil? Young miss, mock me at your own risk. You'll soon find out why they call me the Coffin Queen. Who? Most heinous of all the evil ones, the one they awarded yesterday. It was in his car that they found the body. Proof that he devours the evilest lunches of all. Really? Really what? I'm totally confused. One thing's clear, this lunch lady has a thing against prosecutors. So what exactly was it that you witnessed, Miss Starr? It was a fascinating spectacle, to be sure. And I feel what they say when they talk about a woman's wrath. To see Lana Skye wield that knife so. That knife flashed in anger, bringing him to a sad end. It was truly a sight to see. You mean you saw the very moment of the crime? The sound of his silvery ties to this world being cruelly cut still rings in my ears. And the rhythmic beat of Lana Skye's knife. Wait a second, you know Lana Skye? Of course. Quite a feat becoming chief prosecutor. How many lunchboxes of sin did she pack to make that journey, I wonder? She always travels light. Now why would this pretty lunch lady know the chief prosecutor's name? Could we ask you a bit about yourself, Miss Starr? I come here every day to sell lunches. I import only the freshest and best from the Far East. For some reason, the boss lunches are here. Why not make the lunches here rather than import them? Did you say something? No. Only true connoisseurs can understand. Kind you can only tell someone who has tried General Tso's Trilobite lunch set. Never mind, you win. I don't even want to appreciate part of a Trilobite's flavour. Anyway, I come here every day to sell lunches. My boyfriend works in the security room here at the prosecutor's office. Your boyfriend? See the security room over there? The glass wall booth? I sell my lunches, and since I'm here anyway, I drop in to see him. Since you're here anyway, I guess selling lunches is more important than romance. So to scientifically analyse the data available so far, you, Miss Starr, are a lunch vendor with an ulterior motive for coming here. Useful analysis. Not. Did you have a bad experience with a prosecutor, Miss Starr? I sense some hostility. Hostility? Ha! Perhaps. Prosecutors are all alike, And the bigger they get, the worse they smell. Kind of like 10-day-old clams in the chowder. I wonder if Miss Star was involved in some sort of legal trouble in the past. That'd be a sure cause of food poisoning, scientifically speaking, of course. I mean, now you're talking Coffet Queen. I thought she was just a lunch vendor, but now I'm not so sure. Fancy office. This is the kind of room that just screams, I can do the job. Quite a change from your office, really. Thanks. Look, there's a trophy or something here. A trophy? What, that shield? It takes real nerve to display stuff like this. Whoever's office this is, they must be a real stuck-up jerk. Phoenix Wright. You never tire of prying into other people's businesses, do you? That voice. Long time no see, Edgeworth. Huh? Oh, Mr. Edgeworth. You know him from somewhere? Of course, I'm his biggest fan. My sister introduced us once and... Right, her sister is chief prosecutor after all. Well, what brings you here? I'll warn you, I've been known to be a real stuck-up jerk. No, did I? No. It was just Mr. Right here. Hey, don't blame me. We're just here to investigate a murder case. Murder? A body was found in this nasty bright red sports car in the parking lot. That would be my car. What of it? What? Your car? I'll say one thing, she certainly can scream. So the body was found in your car? Go ahead, say it right. You think I did it, don't you? After you went through all the trouble to help me last year, no less. No, we don't think you did it. I mean, it was my sister who stabbed him. Wait, no, she didn't do that. I mean... Wait, so you're the chief prosecutor's little sister then? Yes, sir, Emma Sky. Nice to meet you again. No, that didn't sound false at all. Oh, now I remember, you've really grown. I'll admit, it was a surprise for me too. To think that my own car would become the scene of a murder. More surprising still, I'm being forced to prove my superior's guilt. I can understand. Wait! What did you say? Lana Sky is the chief prosecutor, the top prosecutor in the district. She can't prosecute herself, so I'll be the prosecutor at the trial tomorrow. You, Mr. Edgeworth? To be honest, it's a bit of a miracle I'm still here at all. What do you mean? Rumours? You've heard the rumours about me, haven't you? Miles Edgeworth. It's hard to remember a time when there weren't rumours about this guy. Forging evidence, arranging false testimony, illegal searches, you name it. Thanks to you, my innocence was established in the trial at the end of last year. However, there are some who say I'm the one responsible for the current incident. What? That's crazy. Some people need very little excuse to think ill of others. It's a fact of life, impossible to stop. But some of them even go so far as to present me with toys like this. They think it's funny. Toys? A bronze shield? There's got to be a story behind that one. Chief Prosecutor Sky? Yes, we first worked together on the case 2 years ago. It was my first big case. That's right, I remember. 2 years ago. I wasn't even a lawyer yet. Since then, I always felt that she was looking out for me. It appears I was mistaken. Mistaken? Why? I mean, I know she's not the warmest person, but I'm sure she felt some responsibility for you. Then why? Why did she stab someone in the trunk of my car? Not only that, she stabbed him with my knife. What? Mr. Edgeworth, your knife was the murder weapon? To be specific, it was a knife I kept in the toolbox in the trunk of my car. Edgeworth? What? Are you sure you didn't do it? Oh, come on, can't you take a joke? Those are the evils right there. You have a strange sense of humour, Mr. Wright. My, what an amazing bouquet, just right for Mr. Edgeworth. No kidding. Hey, there's a card on it. Back from the dead, Wendy. Wendy, I've heard that name somewhere before. And beside it, a giant steel samurai. Wow, I want one. Huh? That's something written on the bottom of his foot. Between a rock and a hard place. Wendy. Wendy? Is she Mr. Edgeworth's fiancée? No. I've been wondering, what the heck is this? It has a big K on it. Oh, prosecutors. Well, what's that? It's the King of Prosecutors trophy. King of Prosecutors? It's a great honour. They send that shield to the best prosecutor each year. What? So that K, that's... K stands for King. Yeah, you got a problem with that? I didn't design the thing. Yeah, prosecutors. I like employed the most. Could you tell me more about yesterday, the day of the murder? Yesterday was the annual cleaning day at the prosecutor's office. Cleaning day? Working with the police department, we sort and file all evidence for solved cases. We call it evidence transfer. Wiping your hands of old cases, in other words. Oh, and another thing. A ceremony was held at the police department. There's an annual review and awards for outstanding police officers and prosecutors. And that's when you got the shield. I was at the police department yesterday afternoon. I got back here at 5:12. That's very precise. People like myself and Mr. Edgeworth pride ourselves on our precision, Mr. Wright. No, I place little faith in my memory. The only thing I trust is solid evidence. This is the parking stub from the underground lot. Murder took place around 5:15, so the murder happened after you got back. What, right? I'd appreciate if you direct that suspicious glare elsewhere. He's an old character. Excuse me, but is Mr. Edgeworth anywhere on the premises? I'm Edgeworth. What is it? I'm here, sir, at the request of the chief, sir. I've got your report, sir. Report? What? Did you find new evidence in the case against Chief Prosecutor Sky? I don't like the way this conversation is going at all. Sky, sir? No, sir. No name of that kind, sir. Not in this report, sir. I think I just heard Edgeworth's lid blow. Mr. Edgeworth's lid isn't all very tight, is it? I made a clear request to the police department, did I not? I need to focus on the trial tomorrow, so don't bring me anything unrelated. Sir, but sir, I'm just following orders, sir. They told me to bring this to you. I wasn't aware of the particulars of your arrangement with us, sir. Give me your name. Yes, sir. Meekins, sir. Officer Meekins. Right, Officer Meekins, take your report and leave. And good luck with that raise next month. But sir, I didn't know. Poor guy. Looks like he was absent on the day they gave out brains and good luck. Right. Yes, sir, he caught me off my guard. As you can see, I'm busy. You may leave now. Let's do what he says, Mr. Wright. The victim was a detective from the same department as that patrolman just now. Go down to the police department. You can ask more there. Thanks. He seems to have finally calmed down at least. Yeah, we're finally here. Why would they put the police department so far away from the prosecutor's office? Beats me, that took almost 30 minutes by taxi, and traffic wasn't even that bad. Police department, huh? I've only ever been to criminal affairs next door. Hold on, what's that? Disturbing. Why does it undulate like that? Oh wait, I know, this is the Blue Badger. I'm trying to make him the police mascot. Wow, Mr. Wright, you sure know a lot about the police. So he does seem familiar somehow. Forget the Blue Badger, what's that? Who's that next to him? Someone appears to be dancing with the Blue Badger. Oh, he noticed me. Sure has run over here fast. Hey, pal, what are you doing here? That's my line, Detective Gumshoe. Specifically, why are you dancing over there? What? Well, at least he doesn't seem to be busy. Still a chance to get info. Hey, I'll have you know I'm a very busy man, pal. I'll give you one word of advice, pal. You better not agree to defend the suspect in this case. Why not? Huh? Well, it's just that the chief prosecutor has confessed to the crime. She says she summoned the detective to the prosecutor's office and she killed him. But what if she's not telling the truth? Yeah, well, no. Come on, pal. There's plenty of evidence against her. But what if the evidence was faked? Hey, pal, can I speak to you for a second? Huh? Me? Why is that little girl so peeved at me? She's a relative of the suspect, Lana Sky's sister. Whoa, the chief prosecutor's little sister? Just please investigate this case carefully, okay? Scientifically. Yes, sir. Oh, by the way, you might want to keep your voices down. You don't want to be overheard using words like fate. Huh? It's a sensitive issue with us these days. So what are you doing here, Detective Gumshoe? Me? Oh well, nothing really. You kicked me out of criminal affairs. Detective Gumshoe, what did you do this time? What do you mean, this time? Then what happened? I know things are busy right now. I mean, my sister's case and all. It's true, we never had a chief prosecutor murder anyone before. But in the highest ranked police people are being let into criminal affairs now. The lowest ranking guy in there is our chief of detectives. They're not letting any of us rank and file detectives in at all. None of you? I know this is an important trial, but isn't that a little odd? So anyway, I thought I'd spend the day getting the Badger dance to a pat. Isn't there anything else you could be doing? Chief of Police himself is directing this investigation, pal. And Officer Marshall was assigned to the underground parking lot. Officer Marshall? Now that, I think about it, Emma did seem to know that Marshall guy. Patrolman in charge of a crime scene is an order, pal. He's in a tough spot again. Again? Well, it all started with the murder of that defense attorney, Ammond. But Mr. Edgeworth is found innocent. Listen, pal, there have always been rumours about Mr. Edgeworth. Forging evidence, making deals with witnesses. Nothing outright, but there are always whispered rumours. Ever since he was accused of murder, no one's whispering. They're practically shouting. But there's no evidence against him. Well, Mr. Edgeworth has always had unusually strong ties to the police department higher-ups. Only natural that people would be suspicious. I had no idea he was under the gun. Anyway, this latest case started a new rumour. People say the only reason he took this case is because he's aiming for the chief prosecutor position himself. What? Well, I know the truth, pal. Nobody wants to be the one who has to prosecute the chief prosecutor. Mr. Edgeworth is biting the bullet on this one. He's doing this for all of us. This ID card belongs to the victim, Detective Bruce Goodman. You can do just about anything these days with a card and a right secret number. Scary. It's only because scary because you keep dropping your card, Detective Gumshoe. I forgot my secret number a lot too. It's scary. But I'm me after all. What could be wrong with that? I think I'll sit out this conversation. So this ID card belonged to the victim. He was a detective like myself, Detective Bruce Goodman. So do you think it's strange? I mean, why would the victim's ID card be lying on the ground where we found it? Well, Detective Goodman should have been at the police department yesterday. There was an evidence transferal for a case he handled 2 years ago. Evidence transferal? Mr. Edgeworth mentioned that too, but Detective Goodman was killed at the prosecutor's office. Well, that's the thing. It's hard to say this, but word is that Chief Prosecutor Scotty called him out there to the parking lot, and Lon is confessing as much. I was wondering about that. What? The Dancing Blue Badger is my masterpiece. That seems creepy. You made this, Detective Gumshoe? She threw together some designs and I just did my thing, pal. Nice work. Battery powered so it can go anywhere. No switch, so just dance until the batteries die. Poor Blue Badger, face to dance until he drops. And that's all I know about that. Well, I'm not officially on the case, you know. Thank you. Why are you handling the case, Gumshoe? You met the guy who is, what was his name? The guy in the parking lot? That would be Officer Marshall. He was appointed directly by the Chief Police. Officer Marshall, is he some kind of Wild West sheriff or something? No, Jake Marshall's just a regular officer from West LA. For a moment though, I wasn't sure. Look, pal, let me try to make things a little easier for you. Show him this, I'll let you examine the crime scene. Maybe. I'll be surprised this gets us anywhere. Just act like you're supposed to be there and nobody will look at you twice, pal. I have to be getting back to the shop. Sorry, I'll be stuck in this pit till the sun sleeps. I'll see you in my dreams then, baby. Oh, still here? Hello? Why the surprised looks? Didn't I mention? I got a boyfriend named for him on the first too. Mom's a security guard. Hey, what's wrong, Bambino? You're looking like a doggy that's lost its herd. Jake Marshall, strange guy to put in charge of a crime scene. There's something I wanted to ask you. The scene of the crime, cold grey for men who lost their dreams, and me, I watch over them as they sleep, dreaming of the desert's house judgment. He's asleep. Well, we should show this hopeless case something to catch his interest. There's something I wanted to ask you. I've got it. Would you mind reading this to me? What's this? I warn you. Found it as good to me, go right in the spittoon. It's a letter of introduction from Detective Gumshoe. May we investigate? Gumshoe? Oh, that old cow dog. He holding a birthday party or something? Huh? Look, where it should say letter of introduction, it says invitation. I think he just miswrote it. Wait, why am I getting all defensive here? No worries, this proves it's from Detective Gumshoe. Better than a blood test. I guess better let you in then. Thank you, Officer Marshall. Oh, that's right, he's a patrolman, not a detective. Which reminds me. Hey, wait a sec. Isn't the crime scene supposed to be handled by a detective or higher? Well, folks, clues are calling. Welcome to our gold strike. Be like the settler. Strike for lands unknown. Manifest destiny. Let's have a hootenanny. Note to self, police investigations like settling land. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you say? I say I won't be needing this anymore. Officer Marshall, can you tell us about the victim? Good men always die young. Remember that, partner. Could you be a little more specific? Bruce Goodman, he was a detective, right? Well, aren't you a feisty doggy there, Nail? Detective Goodman was stabbed here at 5:15. Smiling Madonna told me the tale. Think he means the witness, Miss Angel Star. One stabbed to the chest. Found piece of work. This here's the autopsy report. Was my sister involved with the victim in any way? Funny you should mention that, Bambino. Chief Prospector of Sky and Detective Goodman had nothing in common at all. Nothing in common? They apparently worked together on a case a few years back. Says no motive. Goodman wasn't a particularly gifted detective. One reason why he didn't do much work with the Chief Prospector. But my sister called the victim here on the day of the murder, right? Here, to this parking lot. So it seems, like calling out man to a shootout at high noon. I don't mean any offence, but Officer Marshall, you're a patrolman, right? Not a detective. You calling me out? They could shoot you for that in Texas, huh? I was one of them fancy shoot detectives till 2 years ago, to tell you the truth. But really, now he tells me. But you're a patrolman now, so how can you be in charge of a crime scene? Nothing gets by you, does it, Bambino? So why are you in charge? No reason. Just shouting hands right now. Keeping it out in the meantime. That's odd though. Detective Gumshoe was saying he had nothing to do. Nothing important at least. He's nothing but a sad old cow dog that can't find his tail. Maybe it's because he runs with that Edgeworth, eh? Edgeworth? That cow dog's been kicked out of this caliber by order of the chief of police. Just he don't realise it yet. Detective Gumshoe kicked off the investigation. Let's check out the mobile phone. Right, let's check it out. Doing this on DS was quite cool. Doing it on here is pretty cool as well. The phone's still on the radar screen. Radar? Mr. Wright, most phones keep a record of all the calls you made and received. Just press the blue button to display the last number you called. Convenient, isn't it? I suppose you didn't know about it. Sorry to disappoint you, but even I know about things like radar. Oh, I'm so sorry. Just you never know with people from your generation. Whatever, let's check this phone out. Yeah, so I know that. Hey, what's going on over there? Oh, sorry. I see you, partner. You pressed redial on that there phone, didn't you? Yeah. Whose phone is it? Whose is it? That belongs to Chief Prospector Sky. Was my sister's? She apparently dropped it when she was taken into custody right after the crime. The last call was made right when the murder occurred. Sounds like she was fixing to call someone. So she only spoke for a few seconds according to this. Who'd she call? No idea. Sorry, partner. Now I got a question for you, partner. I heard the phone ring just now. One of those newfangled ringtones? Oh, I'm sorry, that was my phone. What? Your phone? Yeah, it's kind of strange, but someone called me right as we picked up the other phone. A wrong number. I hope you're not lying. They shoot you for that in Texas, partner. I'm inside the wrath of the Lone Star Patrolman. I like Phoenix's dry observations. Quite a luxury car to be some money to burn. Prosecutors get big bucks. What's this? It's like a note of some sort. Look, something's written on it. Alright, let's see. 67S122. There's a name printed on the paper above that. Goodman. Maybe it fell out of his pocket when he was killed. Well, so what does it mean, Mr. Wright? How am I supposed to know? No self-detective reason, go to Edgeworth, not Wright. I'm sure Edgeworth wouldn't know what this means either. It's rape, is it? Yeah, he uses it to lay out the victim's body. So the victim must have died when the killer closed the trunk on him. You have got to be the only person I know that would come to that conclusion. So there's no connection between Detective Goodman and my sister. That's correct, but there's a gold mine of evidence against her. And the prospect tomorrow is none other than Edgeworth himself. I'm afraid your sister's fate is decided, Bambino. Many condolences. Officer Marshall? Yeah, Bambino. How can you say that? You and my sister, you were... Is there something between his club and his sister I don't know about? I apologise, Bambino. Something must have gone to me. Maybe it's that dry wind that's blown through the prospector's office. Dry wind or ill will. Something's up to something. Yeah, but who? Suspicions about Mr. Edgeworth have been flying around for about nearly 2 years now. Forged evidence and arranging testimonies, you mean? He was unbeatable because he did whatever it took to whip him. Unbeatable, that is, until he met you. But rumours are just rumours, aren't they? These are prosecutors we're talking about. Evidence is everything to them. If you follow the rumours about Edgeworth to their source, you found one person. But they're off limits. Untouchable, you might say. One person? Who? Hate to say this, but it's your sister, Bambino. Chief prospector, Atlanta Sky. What, my sister? Edgeworth couldn't wrestle all those cows by himself. Some people load the guns with bullets. Some people load them with deals. But you'll say Edgeworth is making trial deals to win trials? Where there's gunshots, there's bound to be bullets. That's what the old timers say. Big old secret hidden around here somewhere. Everyone knows it. Is that why Detective Gumshoe was taken off the case? Did they target him because he was closest to Edgeworth? So, well, how are we doing, Mr. Wright? Guess we got some clues. We have an autopsy report, a note from the victim, and a cell phone. So you think we'll be okay? Well, the only thing that's still bothering me is that Lana was confessing to the crime. She says she did it. No problem. I guarantee she's not the criminal. By the way, Emma, yes? I know that song your phone plays when it rings. What? It's the Steel Samurai song, isn't it? That popular TV show for kids? That phone that rang earlier wasn't mine. It was yours. 5:18, just after the murder took place. Your sister called you, didn't she, Emma? I'm sorry. Can you tell me what you talked about? Like, she hung up right away. Let's see. A detective is murdered, and the suspect is the top prosecutor in the district. I've got a bad feeling about this. Like, maybe I still don't know everything that went on here. How did the investigation go yesterday, Mr. Wright? Frankly, there are still a lot of grey areas. Or rather, the whole thing is one big grey area. Don't worry about me, no matter what the outcome. I'm ready to accept my fate. I believe in you, sis. Mr. Wright, let me offer you a word of advice. Yes? The defense attorney should never believe their client. The defendant is called to trial because they are suspected of wrongdoing. Never forget that. Miss Guy, you remind me a lot of Mia. There's one decisive difference between you and her, and that is, you're not a defense attorney. I believe it's almost time for the trial. Good luck, Mr. Wright. My first trial without Faye helping me. No one's going to bail me out this time. I'll be alone in there, so I have to discover the truth all by myself. Let's do it, Mr. Wright. I'll be with you the whole way.
Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Skye.
The defence is ready, Your Honour. The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honour. Edgeworth. It's been 2 months, but I haven't been in the courtroom since his trial. I hope that personal feelings will not be a part of the proceedings today, Mr. Wright. I will choose the path I think is right, regardless of what those around me might say. The judgment to be made here is in our hands, not those of anyone else.
Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. Your opening statement, please.
Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye has committed an unpardonable crime. Not only this, but she was rash enough to commit it in the prosecutor's office lot. Wow, he's much more forceful in person. I suddenly feel like confessing to everything. However, she will now pay for her rashness with her life. There was a witness to her crime. A professional witness.
Well then, call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth.
The prosecution calls its first witness, Ms. Angel Starr, to the stand. The Gothic Queen.
Have I seen you somewhere?
You ordered the caviar lunch, right?
Oh, caviar. I've never eaten caviar before.
The judge is really wolfing it down. Ah, and for you, I have a Fiesta bowl. Thanks. Will the witness please state her name and profession? Ah, you, sir? Did you order the fingerprint lunchbox? It is too early for lunch. Your name and profession, please. Well, Your Honour, how does it taste?
So this is why everyone raves about caviar. It's so tasty it hurts. I always thought caviar would taste like pickled tapioca.
What the heck does pickled tapioca taste like? Name, profession, now. Me? The name is Angel Starr. Don't go forgetting it. I find myself running lunchtime these days. Is that what you wanted me to say, Mr. Edgeworth? Very well, witness. Please describe the incident to us.
Prosecution will wait. I've not finished eating.
Hurry it up.
Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. As you know, we usually call on the police to provide a description of the crime.
Your Honour, as Mr. Edgeworth has said to the court, I am a professional.
What exactly does that mean?
Until 2 years ago, Ms. Angel Starr was a special investigator with the police. She was a first-rate homicide detective. What? Miss Starr was a detective?
Aha! I know who you are. Cough up.
Cough up Queen Angel Starr, Your Honour. Long time no see.
Very well. You may continue with the description, Miss Starr.
Just who is this lady? If I might have the court's attention over here. The parking lot at the prosecutor's office is divided into 2 blocks. A block is for the prosecutor's office personnel. B block is for visitors and clients. A chain divider separates the two blocks.
I suppose that's to keep visitors from taking up prosecutor spaces, yes?
The crime took place by a car in the back of A block, in the car's trunk. The killer stabbed the victim with this knife and went to drive the body out. Unfortunately for her, there was a witness and an arrest was made on the spot.
And who was this valiant witness?
Why, it was me, Your Honour.
Witness, did you see the very moment of the crime?
Of course, Your Honour. Immediately after that, I apprehended the chief prosecutor.
It seems rather cut and dry, doesn't it? Well, Mr. Wright? I can't agree on principle, Your Honour.
It seems that some poor losers are willing to accept the truth, Your Honour. Shall I proceed to crush what little hope they have remaining?
If you can, give them your worst, Mr.
Wait, are they talking about me? Somehow I always knew a day like this would come. I was on my way to deliver a lunchbox to my boyfriend, and I sensed something. Perhaps it was my finely honed detective's intuition at work. Through the wire fence I saw the chief prosecutor standing next to a garish car. The chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. Then she thrust the pointy tip of the knife into Detective Cooper's chest.
Bringing a lunchbox to your boyfriend? How touching.
As you can see, there is no room for doubt.
The key point of your testimony seems to be nothing other than the point of the knife which you saw being stabbed into Detective Goodman.
So, how does it feel to be so utterly crushed?
I am still thinking about that.
It's merely a flesh wound, Mr. White.
Very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness.
How did you know a day like this would come? I respect the prosecutor's basic abhorrence of crime, yet their methods so ugly and twisted. Twisted methods will always lead to tragedy. The lunch lady's uninformed opinion is duly noted. Given that they are used to erasing inconvenient evidence at their whim. Killing off a detective that knew too much is merely an extension of that. Miss Starr, do you have something personal against prosecutors? I felt I had found my dream job when I became an investigator. If I hadn't been laid off by those prosecutors over there, I'd still be one. Laid off? She was fired? To me, prosecutors are nothing more than worms. That said, I'm a pro. As you know, my testimony is unbiased and flawless.
Very well. You may continue, Miss Starr.
This boyfriend, he's the detective. Not that boyfriend, the security guard.
That boyfriend? You have several?
Yes, this boyfriend, that boyfriend, and the other boyfriend. Care to join? The yet another boyfriend, the position is still open for applicants.
I'll stick with the lunches, thanks.
Note to self, the judge had to think before replying. Security guard room is in the lot in A block. It's up on the second level, as you can see everything from there. That would be the room with the security sign. Incidentally, did you bring your lunchboxes by car? Since I'm a visitor now, I parked in B block. So she was in B block when she witnessed the crime. By garish car, you mean? Mr. Edgeworth's car, yes.
Mr. Edgeworth's?
Incidentally, the knife with which the victim was stabbed was also Mr. Edgeworth's, wasn't it? Indeed it was.
What an odd case this is. And the person you saw, you chose to defend it?
I saw her from no further than 30 feet away. I'm certain it was her. If she's telling the truth, we're doomed. Let's just do what we can. Even if we don't have any proof, we can always nitpick. Witness, in your testimony you clearly stated the following. Prosecutors are nothing more than worms, ergo, you are a biased witness. You might want to keep those silly opinions to yourself in the future, Ricky. Ricky? Unless you're willing to risk the consequences of doubting me. I'll fry you like a fritter, crispy on the outside, chewy on the inside.
That was inspiring.
I believe I've heard that tagline elsewhere. You cry plagiarism. I may be relegated to the lowly post of lunch lady, but my instincts are honed.
A photograph? You took this?
The moment I witnessed a crime, my reflexes took over in a snap. I took a picture. In fact, one of my lunchboxes rigged with a camera. I suppose there's more exciting than just hanging it around your neck. Witness, why am I only seeing this photograph just now? You think I'd show it to you, a prosecutor? Think again. My boyfriend works in the photography division of criminal affairs.
Well, this is most certainly the defendant.
That is unmistakably Lana Skye. So what was the defendant doing at that time? There's something about that. And you witnessed this? You saw Miss Skye stab the victim with a knife? As I've already said, yes. I swear it's my finest 7-swirl lunch.
I'm sure that is a fine lunch.
But isn't that odd? Look at this photograph. This is the photograph you took at the very moment of the crime, is it not? Then why is Miss Skye not holding a knife?
Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts?
Objection. That had to be the weakest objection ever, Edgeworth. Yet it was still stronger than your ever feeble mind, right, Mr. Wright?
What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth?
This photograph was not taken the moment before the stabbing. This was taken the moment after the stabbing. And how can you tell that? Blood splatter. Huh? See the dark crimson stains on the chief prosecutor's coat? But it's a black and white photograph.
Oh yes, it's hard to tell, but this could be blood.
Well, Mr. Wright, that's the problem here. No problem except you. Mr. Wright, are you going to just sit there and take that kind of abuse? Oh, you've got a better idea. I'm going to object to it. Wait, that contradicts what the witness said in her testimony. Namely, that she took the picture the moment she witnessed the crime. Well, it seems I was slightly unclear. My apologies. That's it. If you run out of lunch, you order seconds. Problem solved. If you don't like it, try ordering the jumbo-sized lunch from the get-go. Good advice, I'm not sure I understood it, but good advice. I didn't have time to stop her. Prosecutor Skye was cold, calculating like a robot. She killed without pain or remorse. It was a premeditated murder. Premeditated? How do you know? Look at the chief prosecutor's hands in that photograph.
Well, are those gloves?
Surgical gloves made of thin rubber, most likely. Why would she have those on? If it was not premeditated,
she would not be wearing those gloves. These gloves do seem to tell a tale of premeditation.
Premeditated murder? A serious offence.
Witness, add this to your testimony.
The murder was planned. The rubber gloves prove it. Witness, do you know what this is? Are you trying to test me? I sell box lunches for a living, you know. That's a knife. The knife. The knife that was in Mr. Edgeworth's trunk.
Indeed, it is my knife.
What's with this case?
A bloody murder weapon. A red car. I'll belong to the prosecutor.
The defendant is the chief prosecutor for the district, right? Army, a prosecutor's bad people.
The defence has a request. We ask that the witness provide an accurate testimony.
What's that, rookie?
In your testimony, you state that Lana Skye planned this murder, and that's why she was wearing those special gloves. Seems like a natural conclusion to me. The gloves do indicate planning. However, why would she not also prepare the most important thing, the murder weapon? Oh. This knife just happened to be in the trunk of that car. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to plan a murder, you don't forget the weapon.
Oh!
Order, order, order. Great, now the tide is turning in our favour. Great show, Mr. Wright. My sister's as good as free. Right. I believe the next lunch you'll be eating is humble pie. What? Hope you weren't deluding yourself into thinking that the tide has turned. Not over such a trifling detail, but this shoots a hole in the whole premeditated theory. Prosecution could care less if it was premeditated or not. The only one who seems to care is that lunch lady over there. The defendant Lana Skye murdered a detective with a knife. That is the only thing the prosecution need prove, nothing else.
Very good, Mr. Prosecutor. I suppose you think you're clever now.
But you know as well as I do that she planned on killing him. It was planned. If it wasn't, why would she have been wearing? I believe I'd like to hear your testimony again. Witness, please tell us only what you saw, not what you thought.
How dare you? My powers of detection are not to be underestimated.
Really now?
Lana Skye intended to murder Detective Goodman. That's why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office. I'm sure the chief prosecutor has a grudge against the victim. Nothing else could drive that human machine to plunge the knife in again and again.
The victim was summoned from the police department to the prosecutor's office. It does sound a lot like premeditation, doesn't it?
So if I order pizza, does that mean I'm planning to kill the delivery boy?
In any case, the defence may begin cross-examining the witness. Autopsy report. You say she stabbed him again and again, but you couldn't have witnessed that. Are you testing me? Then I'll test you.
Am I most surprised?
I'm afraid the moss is growing under our feet as we wait, Miss Starr. What do you mean? I shouldn't have to explain this, but take a look. The autopsy report states that the death was due to a loss of blood from one stab wound. Aha, you're right. Good show, Mr. Edgeworth. What a hunk, he's my hero. Really? My objection. No one noticed? Well, witness?
You got the crime scene set right.
Oh, thanks.
Always believed that no one could ever mistake ketchup for blood. But now I realise that such mistakes are possible.
So you're saying you mistook something for blood?
When she lifted her knife, I thought I saw blood at her breast. Splattered blood from her victim. That's why I thought she must have stabbed him at least twice.
Then tell us what you saw that you thought was blood. Testify.
Her red muffler looked like blood to me. That's how ghastly the whole thing was.
Miss Starr, I demand an explanation. The witness is clearly not suited for detective work.
What?
The suspect was not wearing a scarf or muffler of any kind when she stabbed the victim, and you proved it yourself with this photograph.
Huh? But that can't be.
Only a professional lunch lady could be so utterly clueless. Congratulations, perhaps you finally found your true calling in life. Harsh words but good. In the end, Mr. Edgeworth prevails. What was my objection? Chopped liver?
But it was there, a scarf. No, not that, but something red. Really?
Well now, where were we? The witness has given us an entertaining interlude, but back to business.
What?
Very well, witness. Continue your testimony. You saw the crime and apprehended the suspect. Tell us about that.
Very well. I do remember something accurately, at least.
Ultimately, we couldn't shake the most important part of her testimony. The most important part? The part where your sister stabs the victim. This next testimony might just be the moment of truth.
After the murder, the suspect attempted to run behind a partition off to her side. I quickly called her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot. Ah, yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what I'd be confused in my earlier testimony. The chief prosecutor made to escape, but against Angel Starr, resistance is futile.
You are quite determined about this scarf, aren't you?
I strike like a snake and bite like a cobra. That's me, Angel Starr.
That wasn't a very good metaphor. First of all, a cobra is a kind of snake.
Don't bother me with details unless you want to get bitten.
No thanks. Note to self, Mr. Wright is weak against poisonous snake bites.
The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum.
An oil drum? Hard to imagine.
Oh, she's beautiful but deadly. A predator, this one, a leopard woman.
Very well, Mr. Wright. You call your cross-examination, if you will. You say quickly. Were you close to the suspect?
As I just said, I was only 30 feet away from it the whole time.
Maybe I should press it for more details. I'd like to see this on the floor plans just to be safe. The lunchtime car was... and she was a visitor, thus she was parked in B block. So you witnessed the murder from here. That would make it about 30 feet from the car, yes. Is that correct, Miss Starr?
Yes, that's right.
But there was a chain link fence in front of you.
I went over it, of course.
Amazing! A cop-out queen, lunch lady athlete indeed. It would have taken her a little time to climb over the fence, so she couldn't have gone to my sister that fast. Yeah, the fence was about 9 feet high too. So how did Miss Sky not get away?
Ah, yes, we got arrested. You mentioned the muffler.
She mentioned the muffler? What exactly did she say?
If I remembered exactly, I would have told you in my testimony.
Cheeky.
Anyway, all I heard her say was the word mother.
Just that one word?
So what you heard wasn't the suspect talking to you, but to someone else? Yes, the chief prosecutor was talking on her phone.
Her phone? She can't mean...
By phone, do you mean this cell phone that discovered at the crime scene? Yes, ultimately.
Ultimately?
My memory.
It's like a salmon heading upstream, you see. No, the court doesn't see, mister. The chief prosecutor first attempts to use the phone hanging on the wall. On the wall?
That's right. Near the car, there was an emergency phone on the wall.
Apparently it was out of order. So she used a cell phone?
Indeed, the emergency phone was out of order that day.
Good witnessing, witness.
Good witnessing? I haven't had good testifying.
You should of course add this to your testimony.
The things I do to please the rookie defense attorney. But, Miss Starr, I have to conclude that you have a personal grudge against Lana Skye. The witness is a former detective. Her testimony is unmarred by personal bias. Well, who would have thought you would be my knight in shining armour, prosecutor? You, who together with the chief prosecutor, kicked me out 2 years ago. Well, Miss Starr, this is a fatal contradiction with your testimony. How do you explain this? I don't know what you're talking about. Mess with me, and I'll make you cough it all up. Let's have a look at the floor plans. You said you witnessed the crime from this point. However, if that's true, you couldn't possibly have seen Miss Skye making that phone call. I believe you see where I'm getting at. That emergency phone was on the back side of this partition. If indeed you were in B block, you couldn't have seen it.
Order, order, what is the meaning of this?
It's simple, Your Honour. She's not coughing up lunch, she's coughing up lies. That's quite a claim, Mr. Wright. Perhaps you will allow me a question? Just exactly what lie this witness has told the court. Here's where the counter-attack begins. I can't afford to get this wrong. Witness lied about... Miss Skye tried to use the emergency phone, but it was out of order. What is significant about this fact? Nothing. Therefore, it would be pointless for Miss Starr to lie about it.
Pointless to lie? I see.
But say the witness did actually see Miss Skye using the emergency phone. It would mean Miss Starr witnessed the crime from a different location.
A different location?
Now that's the pointless lie if I ever heard one. Before you call my lie pointless, at least let me tell it.
Right. Where was the witness when she saw the crime?
All testimony we've heard now points in one direction. She witnessed it in there. This is the only place where she could have been.
The security guard room?
Indeed, the security room is the underground parking lot. It's well positioned. It's built on the second floor so you can see the entire lot.
She would have been able to see the emergency phone from there. But why there? There are many other places where she could have seen the phone.
Not in this case, Your Honour. The witness, not being part of the prosecutor's office, couldn't park in A block. The only place where she could have seen the crime in the back of the partition is here. I remember in your testimony you said you brought a lunch to your boyfriend in the security guard room. Well, Miss Starr? How many years have I been getting the better of men? To think that the tables could be turned. Today a man has got the better of Angel Starr.
Order, order, witness. What have you done? You used to be a detective. You should know better.
I'm not turning back. The guilty will be punished. And I'll do what I must to make sure justice prevails. The guilty? Is she talking about Miss Skye? Mr. Wright? Doesn't this strike you as odd? Why did Miss Starr lie? Doesn't make sense. Huh? She could have just said she saw the crime from the security guard station. It wouldn't change anything. Exactly. This photograph tells all. It was the defendant who stabbed the victim. The truth still stands. It still stands? I disagree, Mr. Edgeworth. What? If a witness is found to be lying, they're guilty of perjury. She knows this. She wouldn't risk that without a good reason. Tell us what was her reason was, Mr. Wright. Me? Who else? Mr. Wright, let's review what we know. Miss Starr witnessed the crime from the security guard station. But she lied and said she saw it from B block. It must make a vital difference, but what? What would change? Change the distance between her and the scene of the crime. What she saw is not in question here. What matters is the time it would take her to reach the scene of the crime. Miss Starr, you witnessed the crime from the security guard station. Now, how long did it take you to go from there to the scene of the crime when you arrested Miss Sky? Well, witness? You... Yeah? You wanted the squid wheels, right? The quality of my lunch has gone from low to inedible. I was bringing a PB&J lunch with fresh boysenberry jam to my boyfriend. Boysenberry for the boyfriend? He wasn't in the station, so I waited. I witnessed the crime from the glass walled station. And before I knew what I was doing, I found myself running towards the scene. But the door was locked. Couldn't open it. That's why I had to go through the visitors parking in the B block. That's quite a detour. It probably took me at least 5 minutes to get to the scene of the crime. 5 minutes? This changes things considerably. But it was that woman over there in the defendant's chair who stabbed him. I know it, and I have photographic evidence. I swear it. I swear it on my finest plastic spork. You have a point, and the spork is a wonderful invention. Would you like another caviar lunch? Absolutely. Uh-oh. Mr. Wright, you have to do something. Do I have any evidence to stop this? Objection! 5 minutes between the witnessing of the murder and the arrest? Think about it. You can make pasta in that amount of time if you like it al dente. I've got lunch boxes that tie pasta into knots, Ricky. A 5-minute blank? Isn't that strange? Strange? If you're a criminal, what would you do with 5 minutes you're on it? Well, I guess I'd throw the seat. Hey, don't get the wrong idea, I didn't go anywhere. But you have the instincts of a killer. You would run, but this time it's different. Miss Sky dawdled at the scene of the crime. She even had a picture taken. No true criminal would act this way. It's inconceivable. Yeah. Well then, it seems we've come to the end of this testimony. The witness has a grudge against the defendant and a blank in her testimony. Mr. Edgeworth is the next witness ready to go. Unfortunately, I appear to have overestimated this witness on account of her professional history. We did it. We screwed that can shut, Mr. Wright. That was too close. I'm afraid that the Corvette Queen has been dethroned. And with that, court is adjourned. Mr. Edgeworth, you ordered the squid wheels, right? That's when she tried to foist stuff on me. I prefer not to take the defence team's leftovers. Anything else to say? I might be able to save you. I have decisive evidence. What was that? Is this another one of her trip lunch boxes? My apologies, but we have no further questions to ask you, Miss Starr. Ah, is this your jumbo lunchbox? Woohoo! A triple decker! As a deference to the witness's determination, I'll allow one more testimony. Let's hear about this decisive evidence. Like the lunchtime motto says, you won't be disappointed. What's she going to pull out of her lunchbox this time? I should have mentioned those 5 minutes when I wasn't looking at the crime scene. And now, to the matter of the victim's shoe. Did I not bring this up? 2 types of blood were found on this shoe.
One was, of course, the victim's, and the other blood type matched that of the defendant, Miss Lana Skye.
This shoe proves it. It's flawless, decisive evidence.
What? There was blood found on that shoe?
Try Lunchland for all your lunch and decisive evidence needs.
Witness, what's the meaning of this? Why is this the first time I've heard of this evidence?
Simple. As I've already said, I don't trust you with evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. That's why I took the liberty of investigating this myself.
And you had blood tests performed?
Didn't I mention? I have 3 boyfriends in forensics.
In any case, Your Honour, I can't accept this as evidence.
What?
You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. In other words, this shoe is illegal evidence, at least for the time being. Is that right, Mr. Wright? Seems so. Edgeworth sure is celebrated.
Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. Don't forget, I used to be a detective. As I mentioned previously, this shoe has already been tested by a member of the forensics department. As you can see, it was approved by the police department as of today. Even the general public could produce the official evidence, Mr. Edgeworth.
Is that right, Mr. Wright? It seems so. Edgeworth sure is looking pretty sullen. You could at least study some evidence law, really.
Prosecution's complaints notwithstanding, it appears this evidence satisfies the first rule of evidence law. However, it seems you have yet another grounds against you, witness.
Anything to ensure that the guilty are properly judged.
Very well, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness.
Mr. Wright, do you or don't you have a problem with this shoe? Problem? It's critical. Is there a problem with the victim's shoe? I've got a problem with the shoe. I wonder if you noticed the blood on the bottom of this shoe.
Don't mess with me, rookie. There will be your blood on the bottom of my shoe.
Indeed, there is quite a bit of blood on the bottom of the shoe.
Makes sense, the victim was stabbed with a knife. What could possibly be contradictory about blood on the bottom of his shoe? The problem lies in the footprint.
The footprint?
No, the bottom of the victim's shoe is covered in blood, then isn't it strange? Why weren't any bloody footprints found by the scene of the crime? Aha! As you can see, there were no traces of any such footprints at the scene of the crime. That contradicts your claim about this shoe. This picture only shows part of the floor, so it could have been bloody footprints. Then where are they, Mr. Edgeworth? Because we checked the scene and found nothing of the sort.
Order, order, order. Well, witness?
What? Great going, Mr. Wright, but it's true that the lack of a footprint is a contradiction. But then we have to ask, why wasn't there a footprint?
Oh, that's true. There has to be a reason why there wasn't a footprint.
Think, Mr. Wright, think. I don't know why it's not there. I'm just going to find contradictions.
What?
I see. Now I get it. Get what? Our witness is more devious than I gave her credit for. We were hoodwinked to the very end. But she slipped. There is one vital hint to the truth in her testimony.
What are you talking about?
Think back to when she told us about apprehending the suspect. I thought that was a strange thing for the normally cool-headed chief to do. No kidding. Now witness, allow me to ask a very simple question. This oil drum, was it empty?
Oh, that? I'm not sure I like your attitude, Mr. Edgeworth. Though apparently you're not the slowest conveyor belt in the lunchbox factory.
Witness, well, was the oil drum empty?
The oil drum kicked over by the chief prosecutor was brimming with water.
Water? What does that mean? Still don't get it, Mr. Wright. Do you want to know the reason she knocked it over? The real reason?
Aha, you don't mean...
Yes, the suspect knocked over the oil drum for one reason, and one reason alone. To erase the bloodstains that would have been evidence against her. What?
That ties things up quite nicely. The bloodstains left on the victim's shoes tie her quite clearly to this murder. Then after the deed was done, she knocked over the oil drum to erase the telltale signs.
Why, that's a prosecutor's speciality, erasing evidence.
Savage. That reminds me, Miss Guy's right hand was hurt. Did she say she cut herself when she stabbed him? So that's when my sister's blood got on the shoe.
Well, I see no reason to prolong this trial.
Mr. Wright, do something, please. What can I do? Your sister has confessed to the crime and she tried to conceal it. But... Enough. There's no reason for further debate. The verdict, Your Honour.
Very well.
But Angel Star's on the prosecution's side. She could have been lying out the water.
This court finds defendant Miss Lana Skye.
Whoa.
Little girl, what did you just say?
Huh? Me?
Did you just say that I, Angel Star, was on the prosecutor's side?
Well, yeah, you are. You're saying my sister hid evidence by erasing the bloody footprints.
Well, I thought you'd had your fill, but here you are demanding a second helping. Another lunchbox called evidence.
Wait, witness, don't tell me you have something else.
The time for deliberations is past. Any further comments and you will be held in contempt of court.
Your facts don't scare me, the Coffet Queen. Look at this.
A photograph.
I had it just in case anyone had the gall to suggest that the white shoe didn't belong to the victim.
I see no room for error in this evidence.
Mr. Wright, wait, look at the asphalt in this photo. Hey, it's clearly wet.
Erasing the last trace of doubt from the court's mind. Immediately after the murder, the crime scene was washed with water.
I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I guess I couldn't help after all. It's not your fault. I knew I couldn't win this case from the beginning. And it seems this is what your sister wanted anyway. I'm sorry, Mia. Right, wet or not, don't be so quick to throw in the towel. Get yourself up off the asphalt. Take another good look. Don't give up. Not until the bitter end. This is the last piece of evidence.
Very well. This time I'd like to declare a verdict for good.
Objection!
Your Honour, wait. What is it with you people? Can't I hand down my verdict in peace anymore? Whatever it is, can it wait?
No, it can't, then it'll be too late. Look at this photograph, the last one submitted. This trial isn't over until we give each piece of evidence proper consideration. So, right. Are you saying there's a problem with this latest piece of evidence? Yeah, I'll think later. Yeah, there's a problem. Right or wrong, I've got to go ahead with this.
I suppose since we've come this far, we should give every claim a fair shake. Very well, Mr. Wright. Show the court the problem in this photograph.
Take that!
The problem in this photograph is here. What's this? There's something poking out of the car's muffler.
Wait just a moment, Mr. Edgeworth. Your Honour, you just said muffler. However, I see no trace of a muffler or scarf of any kind in this photograph.
A muffler is also a part of a car, on a car or motorcycle, Your Honour. Just think of it as part of the exhaust system. A pipe.
I see, and I see. What's that suspicious looking cloth sticking out of the car's muffler?
So what if there is something sticking out of the muffler? What does that have to do with this case? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Sorry, Miss Starr, but it's not going to be that easy. In fact, you've already told us why this is important to the case. You said as much in your testimony.
What? Let's hear what Mr. Wright has on his mind. Tell us why you think this piece of cloth in the muffler is related to this case.
Take that!
Miss Starr, recall your testimony for the court. Muffler?
Oh, yeah.
Could it be that the muffler you heard mentioned was actually his exhaust pipe? If so, that means this piece of cloth is vital evidence. Oh.
Wow, it seems we will have to suspend the proceedings.
Suspend?
I find myself wondering about that piece of cloth. If we leave any question unanswered, here we do a disservice to the law. Have the car at the scene, crime scene inspected at once and bring me that cloth. The verdict will wait until after we see all the evidence. Agreed?
I suppose so. That was close. But we made it. At least for now.
This court will adjourn for a 30-minute recess. It's lunchtime after all.
He's still hungry? That is a to be continued moment. This has been Darth Browner. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give us a like and hit that subscribe button. And we'll see you on the next video where we're going to be continuing with this thrilling case. Ciao for now, everyone. Bye.